the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
It affects the run. It can affect the run game greatly because of what they ask the tight end to do with the motions and everything to get the box count where you want. So what can they do creatively with two tight ends to still affect the number in the box for the run game, but to create almost a four-wide feel with Ethan Davis being, quote, your fourth receiver as the second tight end.
I like it. Final one here for you, Brent. Your favorite recruit in the 2025 class and why?
Oh, I mean, I love David Sanders' family. I love the way they went about their business in the whole recruiting process.
Is he a day one starter?
Should be. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a
left or right.
One of the two. I think he's a plug. I think he can be your plug and play guy. Maybe it's at right for a year and then he flips.
Has he played both at Providence?
He can play either one.
Okay.
He can play either one. I don't think that's a concern. I just really like his family. They were in control and the parents were protective of David, but they weren't trying to be stars as parents. They weren't, it wasn't about them, which I appreciate. And I like the way they went about it. I really like Travis Smith in my conversation with him. I think he's a smart, polished guy who was in complete control of his recruitment. I think his parents let him do his thing. He did not succumb to pressure when, those schools pushed on him to commit before taking the Tennessee visit. He didn't get bullied into doing anything he didn't want to do in the recruiting process, which I applaud those guys. He was not emotional about things, and he was not, this team led this week, this team led this week. I'm narrowing my list of 14. Just the way he went about it. I think that guy's got a chance to be a really good player. I really like.
Who does he remind you of?
I don't know who he reminds me of. I just think he's talented. I just think he can play. I think he's got really good hands. I think he's a pretty polished route runner for who he is. I think he can be a slot guy, which means you can be really productive in this offense. I just like his mental makeup more than necessarily the physicalness of his game. I mean, heck, we're looking at the transformations of all these guys' bodies around here. I mean, how much weight did he put on? 22 pounds, 12 pounds, and lost.
How much did Caleb Herring put on? What was it, like 40 or something?
Yeah, but lost 7% body fat and, all this crazy stuff. So that part of it you can fix. The mental makeup is where you're hoping that you're right. And so I like him. Those are a couple guys that stand out that you dealt with, that just like the way that they conducted themselves and handled themselves through the entire process. So and again, I think the culture thing's such a big deal for Josh Heupel, and I think there's a lot of quote good dudes in this class, if you will. It feels like that anyway.
Yeah, I like it. Brent, what can the good folks check out from you outside of the Warp?
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.